Sometimes when writing an essay, you may have too many short sentences. Learning how to combine those short sentences is a good skill to have. In this video, I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can combine shorter sentences to make one longer and more interesting, complex sentence. Combining sentences is an important skill needed for academic writing. One of the easiest ways to combine shorter sentences is to take two simple sentences and make them into a compound sentence. For example, let's take these two sentences. Education can change your life, and you should study hard. Now we can combine the sentences in this way. Education can change your life, so you should study hard. To write this type of compound sentence, you need to delete the period after your first sentence and add a comma, and then add the word so before writing the second sentence. Here's another way that you can write a compound sentence. Education can change your life, therefore you should study hard. Now in this case, you would change the comma to a semicolon and then add the word therefore, followed by another comma. Another way that you can combine two simple sentences is to make one complex sentence. Let's take our two sentences again. To change this into a complex sentence, you could write it this way. You should study hard because education can change your life. By adding the word because to your two sentences, you can change the two simple sentences into one complex sentence. You could also write it this way. Because education can change your life, you should study hard. In this case, you would put the word because at the beginning of your sentence and add a comma before your second sentence. Here's another slightly different way that you could write the sentence. If you study hard, education can change your life. Here we're adding the word if instead of because. You will also need a comma after the phrase that begins with if. Let's look at another example. The new policy will speed up the development. It will also save money. Now we could change this into a complex sentence like this. The new policy will not only speed up the development, but also save money. By adding the words not only, but also, you can connect the two ideas that you have in your original two sentences. Here's one more example. The president of the company wanted to increase sales. He also wanted to reduce costs. Now we could write this sentence in this way. The president of the company wanted to increase sales as well as to reduce costs. In this sentence, we've added the words as well as to connect our two sentences. Combining two short sentences into one longer sentence can be done in several ways. Let's look at this example again. The hospital plans to renew its maternity ward. The financial officer has some objections to this. Now, one way that we could connect these two sentences is in this way. The hospital plans to renew its maternity ward, but the financial officer has some objections to this. Now, here we've made a compound sentence using the word but. When we write a compound sentence, we can use any of the following conjunctions: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. We often call these the fanboys. Any of these can be used to make two short sentences into a compound sentence. Now let's look at another way that we could connect these two sentences. The hospital plans to renew its maternity ward. However, the financial officer has some objections to this. Now here we've put a semicolon after the first sentence and added the word however, followed by a comma before our second sentence. Now this makes a very good higher level sentence. Let's look at a third way that we could write a new sentence. The financial officer had some objections to the hospital's plans to renew its maternity ward. Now here we've taken the second sentence and put it at the beginning. We could also write it this way. Although the financial officer had some objections, the hospital plans to renew its maternity ward. Both of these are good, complex sentences. Sometimes deciding which subject you want to emphasize will determine how you want to write the sentence. In our previous example, although the information is the same, sentence number 1 and 2 emphasizes the hospital, while sentence number 3 emphasizes the financial officer. So deciding what you want to emphasize may help you to decide how you want to write your sentence. As you revise your sentences, you'll begin to see how much clearer your ideas can be presented. Practice writing 2 shorter sentences and see how you could combine them in a better way. Sometimes writing several different combinations will help you to decide which new sentence is the best. Try practicing this technique with several short sentences to learn how to combine sentences better. Combining sentences can make your writing better. Keep working at making your sentences more interesting and varied. Happy writing!